Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. In today's video, we're going to be doing some pressure canning and I'm going to show you how to can up some delicious honey ginger carrots. But here's a little teaser for you. I often get asked for creative ways to use up the things that we can. So I'm going to start doing more of that so you guys have some ideas of ways that I incorporate them into my meals. So hint, hint, you're gonna want these on your shelf because in an upcoming video, I'm gonna show you how to turn a jar of honey ginger carrots into delicious honey ginger carrot soup. Perfect for the upcoming soup season, right? All right, so the details for today's canning session. It is from the All New Book of Canning. If you do not have this book, I highly recommend it. Make sure you check the description box below my video. I will have a link to it on my Amazon store, so you can easily pop over there and buy yourself a copy if you don't have it. Obviously, it's in the pressure canning section. Carrots are most vegetables, a low acid food, so they must be pressure canned. And in the pressure canning section of this book, Ball has what they're calling simple one jar vegetables. And I love, love, love their method for doing this. They've bougied up, if you will, a number of different types of vegetables, and they're using a really simple method for putting them together. The method that they're using is referred to as raw packing, which means we are going to take raw carrots, pop them in a jar with some seasonings, and we're going to top it off with some hot stock. Now, just as a note, you do want to note this, and if you are a pressure canner, you really need to know this because this is important. Even though we are going to be doing a small batch of this, which is another thing you all frequently ask me for, is small batch canning recipes. This is going to be that. But for proper processing in pressure canning, there is a minimum. You must process at least 2 quart or 4 pint jars in order to have them safely processed. So you can't just process 1 quart jar or 2 pint jars. For those of you who like small batch canning, you have to do at least 2 quarts or 4 pint jars for proper processing. So today I'm going to be doing 4 pint jars for you. It's just me, so I like to can in pints. But you can can this in either quarts or pints. That's entirely up to you. The other thing that I like about this method is for the ingredients and the amount of ingredients that you need, they give you the amounts based on 2 quart or 4 pint jars. So you can multiply that to process as many jars as you want, but it starts with the minimum, which I think is really great. So you can do the minimum or you can multiply the recipe and can up as many as you'd like. So for today's honey ginger carrots, Ball states that we need 2 1/4 pounds of carrots, and this is for, again, for every 2 quart jars or 4 pints. You're going to need 2 1/4 pounds of carrots. You're going to wash and peel them, and then you can either cut them in slices, you can dice them, or you can leave them whole. It doesn't matter for processing time. You choose how you want to preserve them. I'm slicing them, and if you're going to be following me in the upcoming video to turn this into a delicious soup, I recommend slicing them. Carrots tend to get pretty soft when you're canning them, so in order to make our soup, we're going to want nice soft carrots. So I did mine in slices, but just know it's totally safe to dice them or leave them whole. The seasonings that Ball is recommending is 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/2 cup of orange juice, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, which I am going to be leaving out of this. I don't want the soy sauce in my upcoming soup video, so I'm leaving the soy sauce out, but you could add it. You need 4 tablespoons of that, and you need 4 tablespoons of honey. I ended up using seasoned salt, and I also added I think 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. It's totally fine for us to add seasonings that are dried to any canning recipe and still be safe. So any dried herb that you would like to add, it is safe to do that. On the flip side, if there's an herb or a spice that you don't like, you can safely leave it out and just omit it. One note I did want to make here, for those of you who might like a little bit of heat, you could totally add crushed red pepper flakes to this recipe as well. So it's really simple to put together. I'm gonna bring you in close and we're gonna get started. Okay, so we're gonna start by prepping our carrots. I have already peeled and washed my carrots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice mine, but you can leave them whole, you can leave them in big chunks, you can dice them. So however, whatever shape you want, I'm just going to make mine in nice thick slices. All right, so I have my carrots all prepared. So now we want to add our seasonings. So you need 2 teaspoons of seasoned salt. You can use regular salt if you prefer. I love seasoned salt because of all the extra flavor that's in there. I'm gonna use 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic. You use however much works for you. The garlic and the onion powder I'm using are not part of the original recipe. That is my addition. I'm going to use a teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, and again, you can adjust the amounts of all of that to what you prefer. We need a 1/2 cup of orange juice and 4 tablespoons of liquid honey. Another nice addition here, if you'd like a little bit of heat, you could add some crushed red pepper flakes. So we're just going to give that a nice stir. Okay, we're ready to fill our jars. Okay, we are all set to fill our jars. Now, modern canning guidelines state that we do not need to pre-sterilize our jars or our lids, so I just washed my jars and I've kept them hot inside my canner. In my canner, I do have 3 inches of simmering water per the guidelines for the All-American canner. Make sure that you know what canner you're using and what you need for your canner. So I have 3 inches of simmering water in the bottom of my All-American canner. I've washed my jars. I've kept them hot in my canner. My lids, I am using ball lids today, so I've just washed my lids and sat them aside. So we are all ready to fill our jars. You do want to start with hot jars. Even though we are using room temperature ingredients, our jars are supposed to be hot, and that is important for proper processing. So we want to fill our jars to 1 inch headspace. So I'm going to add my carrots first. Okay, so I have filled my jars with my carrots to about the 1 inch headspace. Now we did use some liquid in this recipe, the honey and the orange juice, which is in the bottom of my bowl. So I'm going to divide my liquid as evenly as possible into my jars. All right, and then once you have added your liquid to your jars, the liquid from the seasoning from your carrots, we're going to top our jars off with chicken stock or vegetable stock. And you really don't need very much, usually. About a 1/2 cup per pint jar you can count on. All right, now we're going to take our debubbling tool, plastic butter knife, or chopstick to release our air bubbles. If your headspace changes, you can top it off. I did have a few extra carrot coins left. If you needed to, you could use those, but I think my headspace is going to be pretty good. We want to maintain that 1 inch headspace. The other thing you want to be aware of is you want to make sure your carrots are covered in liquid. So make sure your carrots are below the amount of liquid that you're putting in your jars. They will shrink up some during the canning process, but you do want to make sure you have enough liquid in there. So once you are happy with your headspace, you're going to take, and you've debubbled, then you are going to take a paper towel. I like to dip mine in white vinegar and clean your rims. Then we are going to add our lids. And then our bands to fingertip tight. All right, then in the canner they go. All right, I have my jars in my canner. I'm gonna use a couple of tablespoons of the white vinegar left over from wiping the rims. I'm gonna add that to my canning water. That just helps to prevent minerals that are in our water from collecting on the outside of our jars and making them look cloudy. So that's a nice little trick. We are going to go ahead and put our lid on our canner. On the All-American canner, you want to line up the arrow with the notch. Try to get it as even as possible. And then we are going to tighten our thumb screws 2 at a time from opposite sides. All right, we are going to crank our heat up to high to get things going. Once you start seeing steam coming out of your vent, you want to allow that to happen for 10 minutes. That is called venting, and it is part of the processing time, so make sure you don't skip that. So we're going to vent our canner for 10 minutes, and then we can add our weight. Okay guys, I've been venting for 10 minutes. I am going to be processing at 10 psi, so you're going to find the 10 on your weight, and then we're going to add it to our vent. I'm canning at 10 psi, which is appropriate for my altitude. If you're at a different altitude, make sure you know what adjustments you need to make sure you're processing at the proper psi. So once my canner comes up to temperature, which is around 240 degrees, my weight will start rocking, and that tells me to start my processing time. For those of you with a dial gauge canner, you're going to go by your dial, but for the All-American canner, it is a weighted gauge canner, so you go by the rocking. Once my weight starts rocking, I will start my processing time, and I'm going to slowly adjust my heat just to maintain proper rocking. For the All-American canner, you want your weight to rock 1 to 3 times a minute, meaning it will rock and then stop, and then rock and then stop. For the Presto canner, I believe it requires the weight to be rocking consistently, so make sure you understand what canner you have and what is appropriate for your canner. It's really important that you read the manufacturer's instructions. So once my weight starts rocking, like I said, I'm going to start my processing time. I'm processing in pints. I am going to be processing for 25 minutes. If you are processing in quarts, you're going to process for 30 minutes. When we get there, I'll bring you back. Okay, I wanted to bring you guys real quick to give you an example of your heat being too high. So, like I said, my weight's supposed to rock and stop and rock and stop. That consistent rocking for the All-American canner is not appropriate. So you want to adjust your heat, but you want to do it slowly. Quick temperature fluctuations in your canner can cause siphoning, and we don't want that to happen. So make sure that you adjust your heat very slowly just to get to the proper rocking. Okay guys, we are all done. I processed my jars for 25 minutes for pints. If you're processing for quarts, make sure you process for 30. And then once my processing time was over, I turned my canner off, let it return to 0 pressure, let it sit for about 5 minutes after that, remove my lid, and then my jars have been sitting in my canner an additional 10 minutes or so. When you let your jars cool slowly, it helps to prevent siphoning, so that's why I do that. But there are our beautiful carrots that are going to be absolutely delicious on their own as a complement to any meal, but in an upcoming video we're going to be turning them into amazing soup just in time for the upcoming soup season. We have colder weather on the way, unfortunately, but these are a little bit of sunshine in the jar for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me today. If you have any comments or questions, leave them for me in the comment section below. Make sure that you get a copy of the all-new Ball Book of Canning. It has a lot of delicious recipes in it, and I do use it frequently on my channel. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.